It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for the Lamar Thomas Show, featuring the greatest receiver in the history of college football. Just ask them, Lamar Thomas.
I was born in Ocala, Florida. I moved to Gainesville to go to high school. Been recruited probably since the 9th grade, illegally, I might add, by the University of Florida. I still can remember Coach Solinger, Don Solinger, coming out to our practice one day. Here it is, this guy comes out in the University of Miami jacket, and I said, I can't believe that's Miami out here. And, you know, I wanted to go up and say, hey, I'm Lamar Thomas. And actually, I did walk up to him and I said, hey, Coach, I'm Lamar Thomas. And he said, I know. And that was the start of my relationship with the University of Miami.
Patton, another good block, and Toretto lays it out. Touchdown, Miami.
You come down here, you'll be on TV every weekend, dominating. I thought about it. I said, man, where do I sign? My mom, on Saturday mornings, I would wake up and she'd be holding my hand. I thought she was the weirdest lady in the world. But she was holding my hands and she would be rubbing them and saying, one day these hands are gonna make you a lot of money. She was smart.
So now, here he is, the great one, along with co-host Gary Furman of Canesport.com, Lamar Thomas.
Man, second week in a row, I keep looking at those highlights of you running down under those balls and scoring touchdowns, and it's like having recurring nightmares, Lamar. Something else. Well, let's start out. Let's welcome everybody to this week's Lamar Thomas Show. It's Wednesday night. That means Lamar is in Caneswear,
Right.
the proud sponsor of this year's show. Despite the 2-3 regular season start that the Miami Hurricanes are having, I'm Gary Furman, the publisher of Canesport.com, and he, of course, is LT, Lamar Thomas, the great one, and we're excited about tonight's show. We're going to have some good special guests. Santana Moss is expected to join us. Kevin Beard expected to join us, and of course, we've got other proud sponsors, Lamar. Who's feeding you tonight?
Oh, Mission Barbecue, baby.
Mission Barbecue.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
There we go. Mission Barbecue. I got the pulled chicken, and of course, I had two things of fries. One I already ate, and one I'll eat on the way home since my daddy says I can't eat on. I learned my lesson. I don't want to get on grounded by my dad. So.
Get grounded. Then, of course, there's the law office of Christine Rosendahl. You know anybody who she's helped in the last few weeks, Lamar? I mean, she is the go-to lady if anything goes wrong in South Florida. And once you get one of her cards, you never leave home without it.
I'm pretty sure she's helped some people out that have been very, very, very upset about driving all the way back from Hard Rock Stadium. How about that? Probably.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that I could see where there might have been a couple crashes along the way and stuff. Her number is there on the
Road
bottom.
rage.
561-512-6199. Her email address, Christine Rosendahl, Esquire, PA. At gmail.com. So, if you have any legal needs, you need somebody to help get you out of a jam. We all get into them from time to time. She's your go-to lady for that. And Lamar, the Miami Hurricanes managed to lose another one, man. And it's like, I'm thinking back through these games, and I'm saying, like, they battled Texas A&M toe-to-toe, outplayed them in many ways, lost that game because of giving up a cheap touchdown off of a muff punt, missing 2 field goals. That's 13 points right there. And then, obviously other mistakes. I remember Jalen Knighton missing a very easy cut for a good running back. He had a wall of blockers lined up. The play was beautifully designed and executed. That would have been another 7 points. And, I just keep thinking then that, Middle Tennessee, we won't even discuss again. They just didn't even show up. But then this game on Saturday, again, 2 cheap touchdowns early in the game. That's 14 points that they gave North Carolina in a very easy fashion. North Carolina obviously had to complete the pass and everything. We're not making excuses here and stuff, but this is reality. They gave 2 cheap touchdowns up to North Carolina. Jalen Knighton has a fumble at inside the 20 with Miami driving for another score. And I'm thinking this is a 3-point game, Lamar, that they just lost, and they're leaving points on the field all over the place yet again. And now the season's getting away from them. They're 5 games in. They're 2-3. Make some sense of it for us, Lamar.
Well, there's not much sense to make of it. I mean, as you were sitting there describing that, I was actually losing my appetite.
Mission barbecue in the garbage can.
Man, you're calling all these plays, these mistakes that they've made along the way, and it's cost them. I mean, each week it's a mistake or two, whether it's a fumble, a fumble going in, a bad read, a guy not keeping contained, a guy missing a call. They're just making a lot of mistakes, and I could tell you that this has to kill Mario, as far as he came all the way back here to try to resurrect this thing, and it has, it was obviously good in the offseason. We've always been the king of the offseason for the last 12 years probably, but now it's just hitting home, and he's probably had some sleepless nights. But I'm pretty sure he knew it was going to be rocky. I just think that for us as fans and the people on the outside, we just thought that we never fathomed that we lose to Middle Tennessee State for sure. The North Carolina game, it could have gone either way for me. Coming into the season, Texas A&M, I mean, we played well, but the mistakes were there. So, but the loss that really hurt, that I think really gets the GOAT, is the Middle Tennessee. But as you compile that with the other losses, mistakes, lots of mistakes, and not enough plays made by the guys on offense. They had a quarterback threw for almost 500 yards, but you still got the L, and that doesn't cut it.
All right, there's a few of these things I want you to talk about, from your receiving perch, and the first I want to talk about these deep passes that are happening way too often. 6 of them, Lamar, in the last 2 games, and we talked last week about the ruthless posse, all the great receivers that Miami's had for the years. I mean, I remember Michael Irvin having won against Florida State that one year, but he certainly wasn't getting multiple opportunities like that a game. He's a Hall of Fame wide receiver now. You just do not see this I've never seen it in football like this.
We had a couple games back in the day at Horace Copeland, and myself and Kevin Williams. We had 3 big plays against Penn State, and that was the only reason why we won the game. But in all actuality, those weren't really blown coverages. We actually just went out and beat the guys. Kind of like, hate to say this, the Middle Tennessee State, one of those touchdowns. You just flat out beat the guy. But this has been a combination of more blown calls as far as poor communications on the back end. Like, for some reason, they aren't getting the calls, and guys are just basically just doing their thing. Like, how do you get beat on a post route in cover 3? Can't happen. And I feel bad for number 2, because he's the guy that's always on ESPN highlights. It wasn't his fault. The safety's supposed to be sick. He's not supposed to allow anything behind him in cover 3. He's sitting in the middle of the field.
He's playing hurt.
The two corners are supposed to have outside leverage. They're supposed to push you in front of you to the inside where there will be help. But guy gets beat over the top. And then in cover 2, where's the safety? How do you miss that call? And the other side, you see the communication is there on that one play where they were
basically talking, saying cover two. I mean, guys are, here's a crazy thing. Back in the day, I still got to do this. So I'm watching the film. I could tell whatever the cover two signal is, it does help you out. But if you got to go back to that, going basically two to make sure the guy doesn't blow it, I would rather you do that than you blow the freaking call when the safety's supposed to be back deep covering the half and he's up covering the curl zone. So, I mean, it's just lack of communication. And I wouldn't say it's poor coaching, because I know Kevin Steele and all those guys, they're great coaches. I think it's something on the field where guys are going to have to really, and I'm sure they were told this, you got to communicate. You got to be able to talk to each other. You got to give signals. You got to know what you're in every time before that ball is snapped. It's kind of like on offense. You got to know what you have to do. You have to know your assignments and adjustments on every play.
All right, so there's a lot of things people are not going to understand about this. So, and I think this is a good thing for us to break down real quick. Okay, so they have signals for cover two. They've been practicing them for many, many months. Okay, the staff's been here 10 months now. They went through a spring practice. They went through a fall practice. They went through off-season workouts. What are they supposed to be studying, Lamar? It's like we talk about studying, being in the playbook, being in the game plan. Are they changing the signals every week? Are they, what is breaking down that things aren't getting from point A to point B, and the play is getting executed properly? Because the coaches are sitting there looking at each other like, what the heck just happened? That they make the call. They're in cover two. Cover two is the perfect defense for that play. Tyreek Stevenson admitted he could have jammed the guy better at the line, but he is releasing that receiver. You can put yourselves in the shoes of that receiver if you want. He's going by Tyreek Stevenson. Tyreek Stevenson is letting him go by, and Cam Kinchens is supposed to have that guy going deep, and he has to get over there quickly enough, right, Lamar? Because
he basically was already over there, but I don't know what he was looking at. It's almost like he was coming down to the flat where
he
Tyreek
jumped the route in the middle of the field.
Right. He was almost like he was coming down to a curl route, and the receiver kept running. And I'm pretty sure as that quarterback was sitting back there, he was looking through from number two and said, "Whoa!" And he just launched it. I mean, it was
there's nobody there. He was all by himself.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just don't. Maybe the old school way was just calling the coverage or giving whatever signal. It's like and you can't say it was crowd noise.
No,
can't say that.
But like how I just don't see how it's possible that doesn't get communicated properly. But now you're the receiver, okay, and you're anticipating that they're in cover two. What are you doing?
Well, first of all, if there's an out coming behind me, the majority of the time it's a mandatory outside release, because what you want to do is force the corner to widen some, and maybe the quarterback can fit it in before he gets to the corner. And there should be a hole between the safety and the corner. And it's basically on the corner on how he plays it. If he comes off too early, you can hit that guy in the hole. And as a receiver, you're about to get hit. And sometimes they can overrun you. So you kind of throttle down in the hole. But what happened was he didn't even take an outside release, if I'm not mistaken. He kind of widened him a little bit and went inside and kept running. And I know as a receiver, you're looking at that safety. You're keeping an eye on that safety. As you look back, you're keeping an eye on the safety too. And he saw that safety come up, and he was probably like, what the hell is going on? Somebody has to be coming over here. Maybe they were disguising, and the guy's running from the other hash to get over here, because as a receiver, you're taught to read man on, first man inside, and safety. So they basically tell you exactly what coverage is going to be. If you got a corner over you and a safety over the top, that corner is coming, because he's blitzing. The safety's already over the top because he's covering you. And the guy inside, there's just certain keys that we learn as receivers and we teach about being a receiver. And you see these keys and you're like, oh, this is cover two. So I got to kind of widen him, get away from the safety, maybe throttle down in the hole. If the safety's deep, if he's forward, maybe I can beat him over the top. But I'm pretty sure when he went to the corner, gave the corner the move, and kept running and wasn't touched, he was like, okay, I got a free release. Let me look through the safety. Whoa, why is the safety going over there? Oh my goodness, the ball is coming. Touchdown.
Now, this is, the thing that's got to be killing the coaches and Mario is that it's some of the best players on the team that are making these mistakes. I mean, I'll sit here right now and flat tell you, Cam Kinchens is the best safety on this football team. Okay, he has made a lot of plays this year. He is the best safety on this team, period. It's not James Williams. It's not Avante Williams. It is Cam Kinchens, okay? And then you're in your conference opener, and just back to back, like boom, boom, your best player in the secondary makes two critical errors like that. The second one you talked about was cover 3. That was a deep post. You got Tyreek Stevenson playing corner, Lamar. He's playing on one leg, basically. I mean, he's got a bad groin. He's out there toughing it out for his team because he is the best cornerback on this team. And he is out there and given everything he has. He's only made it to halftime of the last 2 games. So in no way, shape, or form is Tyreek Stevenson on one leg supposed to be covering that guy on a deep post down the middle of the field and be on an island by himself. Absolutely not. The safety.
Well, obviously, they knew something because they ran basically 2 posts on that play. They ran a post on the other side too. But they both went right over the head of the safety who was down covering. He saw someone else and he went to cover that guy. I mean, you just can't be. It's like what I talk about as far as the lane integrity for the D line. I mean, you got to stay in your lanes. A guy is coming from one side, he's going to flush the quarterback right to you. If you stay on your lane, he's going to come right to you. But if you go inside, now the quarterback has an opportunity once he's flushed to get outside of you. Now big plays happen. So it's just, as we well know, it's about discipline. You have to be disciplined. That's why those defensive ends that were at the University of Miami, the Darren Crines, the Kevin Patricks, all those guys, those guys were Bill Hawkins. All those guys were great, man, because they knew that inside rush with those great D linemen, great defensive tackles, were going to flush you out of the middle, and you had nowhere to run. A lot of times the quarterbacks just ran right into them. The Rusty Medeiros, they got sacks because of the middle pressure. They had nowhere to run. But they're not being disciplined. That's what it's about. You got to be disciplined on all facets of the game.
So that's 14 points in a game that ended up a 3-point game. 2 plays, Lamar. There were 130-something others in the game between offense and defense. Can you isolate 2 plays? I think you can. Those 2 are unacceptable, man. It's like those 2 plays combined with the Rooster fumble in the fourth quarter was ball game. This should have been a blowout win. Miami should have won this game by a couple touchdowns. They end up losing it. Take us inside the coaching room. You've been there. You've been there with some guys, ruthless guys like Bobby Petrino and what's going on in the coaching office? What are they thinking? Now that they've lost 3 games in a row, 2 because of execution, 1 because their team just didn't show up at all. What's going on in the coaching office?
Well, it kind of depends on the coach. I mean, Petrino was very uncomfortable coming to work. Your stomach was hurting on the drive there. You knew it was it's going to be very brutal there in the meeting rooms. And then, it kind of carries down to the kids because you just spent 3 hours in there just getting brutalized by another man. I mean, just now you got to go and you have to somehow talk to these kids and tell them their mistakes and try not to take out your frustrations on them because you just been killed all morning.
You can't make the kids feel like it's their fault, right? You got to keep them in a right state of mind.
But at the same time, they made some glaring mistakes. You got to point them out. And it's not embarrassing them because everybody saw it, but you got to talk, you got to address it. And if you don't address it, then the kids are going to say, whoa, hold on, man. Because, You have to address it. It just depends on how you address it. Now, you can address it like the Bobby Petrino, but that's not my style. I mean, I just say, hey man, come on, bro. This ain't good, bro. I just got yelled at for 2 hours because of this shit. You know, my morning's messed up. My stomach's hurting. You know, I've drinking 9 cups of coffee and it ain't even 8 o'clock in the morning yet. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. This is what you do to Coach Thomas. This is what you do to me, dog. You know, so I go on that tangent. But it's unbearable in the building. It is literally unbearable. Everybody's uncomfortable. It all depends on the coach. Was Manny Diaz like that? I don't see it. I don't see anybody being afraid of him.
I see Mario outwardly trying to be very positive.
Right. Well,
he's not throwing anybody under the bus.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's outwardly trying to be very positive. Behind closed doors, I don't know what he's saying.
I haven't been there. I don't know how he coaches in that type of environment, but I just think that you kind of have to go at what you know and what what you've seen successful. And it was fear. For us, it was fear of losing your position.
With
fear
Petrino.
of how long. Well,
how was it with Mark?
Well, I'm saying with Jimmy.
Oh, okay. With Jimmy.
Jimmy. You know, it was fear of losing your position. Coach Harrison, not as much, but you know, I was older then. Mark Stoops, you know, they were trying to change the culture there. And they still had some awful players. They had some good players, but they had some awful players. So it was trying to weed those guys out, continue to win, getting the 5 easy victories, and then trying to win 1 or 2 SEC games so you can go to a bowl. So that's a different type of mentality. The easy games that we've had this year, we lost. You know, we lost to freaking Middle Tennessee State. So I would think that in that building, Mario is kind of making it uncomfortable too. He might be saying the great things out in public, but he has to be making it uncomfortable for everybody, from the coaches to to everybody. Everybody has to feel bad about what's going on. You can't be around there laughing and giggling. We're 2-3. So with that being said, the head guy has to have some type of mentality where people are like, oh, here comes Coach Mario. Oh.
So does the head coach in a situation like this where there are just totally blatantly obvious mental errors being made that everybody can see, does he blame his position coach for that?
Well, I mean, I've been in some meetings where I was blamed for some things, and I was like, I wasn't out there shit. You know, I mean, the guy drops a wide open ball or throws the ball back to a defender against Georgia. We got a chance to beat Georgia, and my receiver is 2 yards in front of him and throws the ball backwards. I mean, you know, the coach is looking at me on Monday like it's my fault. I mean, shit, I wasn't out there. I would have caught that. You know, I said, shit, other than the
position coach.
Other than the damn Sugar Bowl, I was pretty good. You know what I mean? So I mean, what do I say? I mean,
did CJ? I guess it was Cedar. Did CJ get chewed out, or well, who was your? I'm trying to think who your receiver.
My coach was I think it was Rich Olson.
Rich Olson, would he have gotten chewed out because
the last game of the season, the bowl game,
stole the ball from you in the bowl game? Right, you had a pretty darn good career.
Yeah, it's the last game of the season. Not too much going to go, and they probably got drunk after that. I mean, really drunk. We were in New Orleans. Remember, everybody got drunk.
And one other question before we move on from this subject. You are now the assistant head coach of the Orlando franchise in the XFL. I don't know what the X stands for, but Extreme Football League, or whatever. But it's the XFL. You are going to be coaching pros in that league. Do pros get spoken to differently than college kids?
Well, here's the thing about being in a league like this. It's right on the cusp of going pro. You're getting paid, you're a professional, but you're not quite right there. So there's some things you need to work on. There's a reason why you're there. Either it's film, or you're just not good enough, or maybe you didn't have a great 40 time. Something's the reason why you're there. Or maybe it's your studying habit. Something is the reason why you're there. So with that being said, I try to remind kids that, hey, this is not college. I'm going to coach you with a smile on my face. Because in college, I have to keep you for a whole freaking year.
Here I can cut you.
Hey, here I just say, okay, buddy. Hey, GM, let me holler at you. Hey, see that dude
That's
right there?
awesome. That's awesome.
And I just smile. And then I
All
send
right.
him a text. Hey, man, sometimes in life things happen. You have to rebound. Good luck to you.
Now, let me bring the voice of the fan, Bruce Warner, in here to join the party. So, sorry we kept you waiting, Bruce, but I was mesmerized by LT's opinions on all these subjects.
Yeah, I was too. I could have listened for another hour and a half.
I totally agree. I mean, but I mean, it was a very significant thing I thought to break down, because I think it's good for people to understand what is going on out there. Everyone's sitting back, they're drinking their beers, whether they're at the stadium or at home watching on TV, and they're just seeing this stuff happen. I don't know that they always understand all the ins and outs of all the plays and what everyone's thinking and stuff. So I thought it was good to go through that with Lamar, and we'll be able to ask even some different aspects of it from Santana when he comes on the show. But Bruce, before we get into that part of the show, your general thoughts on what you saw on Saturday at Hard Rock.
I want to follow up with Lamar, because I have to believe that Mario is not thrilled with Gaddis or Steele with what's going on so far. Both of them. I mean, how do you have 6 of those bombs under your watch and it doesn't get corrected? As far as Gaddis is concerned, I think a lot of people we said it in the first week, and we've been saying it. There has to be something to this. They're just not clicking. Whether it's Mario's stubbornness, we got to run the damn ball. I don't give a damn. We got to run the ball, or maybe
57 times though.
I know they did, because I think what happened was Mario said, "I don't give a damn. Stop this crap. Let him throw the ball," because that was the only way we could move it. We don't have much of a running game. You saw, you didn't mention it, but you mentioned it the other day. Rooster's fumble last week was, oh my God, was that a killer? They were in field goal range to tie the damn game, let alone take the lead. And he puts the ball on the floor. He's lucky. This is a bad way of saying he's lucky that Citizen and Chaney got hurt, because he might not play. Those guys are damn good when they're healthy. Damn good. So here he is with a golden opportunity. He doesn't make that cut against, I guess what game that was.
Texas. Well,
yeah. And then the other day, he fumbles the ball. He makes a yard or two, and then he puts the ball on the floor. We lost the game. That just took the wind out of our sails. So, when I looked at it, and I was texting Gary before, to me, everything is a problem. All these guys that are making comments on Kane Sport, they're not wrong. And the reason they're not wrong, because there's so many, like I said, if you go to a carnival, Lamar, and you throw the dart, hits the balloon, how are you going to miss? There's 5,000 balloons. You're not going to miss. Well, with the same thing here, there's so many flaws with this team. Has the offensive line gotten better? Not really. The D-line, the linebackers, the defensive backs, the receivers. I mean, my God, it just goes throughout the whole team. And then they're flat for Middle Tennessee State. Oh, man. Do you know that they got blown out the last 2 weeks they played? They killed.
Yes, we do.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
Crazy.
LT, these guys worked their butts off for 9 months to get ready for a season. I'm struggling to figure out how this happens. like how you don't know your assignments by the time the season gets here. How you don't show up for a game and allow yourselves to lose a game like that. It's just weird, man. It's like everything that Mario is about is changing the culture, and you know that's what he's putting every ounce of energy that he has in his body, 18 hours a day, maybe 19, to try to change in that program. And you have all these things happening week to week here, and it's just really weird.
But it's similar to the Butch days in the beginning. Now we're not coming off of probation. We're missing kids, and we're developing those guys. It does take some time. And I talked to Mario before the season. And I said, and I just said, you're 2 to 3 years away from really being able to do this. And it's about development. It's about having depth. And as we well see, guy goes down, the next guy should step up and even be better. But they have to develop. I see we're a corner, a young corner that we're recruiting. He says, I can step in. I figure I can step in and start. Well, that's, to me, is not I don't want that. I want you to develop. I want to see you in 2-3 years, buddy. Not when you're a freshman, when you don't really know the game, when you're used to playing against guys that you're better than. This is a different game, man. These guys are bigger, stronger, faster. You go up against Clemson and some of these bigger guys, these guys that have developed for 2-3 years, you're going to be outclassed, outmatched, and now you're messing with your head for a couple of years. So develop, get in that weight room, get these plays down. We all had to do it. The great ones at the University of Miami, they had to wait their turn, whether it was 1 year or 2 years, but they had to wait their turn to be truly great.
They take their best freshman corner, Jaden Harris. They put him in the game against Middle Tennessee. Like these other recruits that you're talking about, Jaden Harris is sitting there saying, I want to play as a true freshman. I'm going to, he gets out on the field in the fourth game of the year, and he's matched up one-on-one with a Middle Tennessee receiver, and he gets torched up the middle of the field.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Yeah. I don't want to see you in your true freshman year.
I don't want to see a true freshman. That, to me, that's saying unless you're some super duper guy, which, I mean, it's just, you got to develop these guys, man. You have to teach them, because whatever they were taught in high school, they were taught by a freaking science teacher. Yeah. A guy's just collecting a stipend, especially in the state of Florida. So you got to, these guys have to, and they might be great players, but develop, get everything down. So now you understand that you still have to go to class, and you have to split your time. You have to manage your time. You got to manage your NIL money. You got to manage, all these things are coming at these kids fast. And on top of that, now you're thrown out there as a freshman where everything is moving fast. Whoa, slow it down, get your year developed, see what it's like. Maybe even take a couple of trips here and there during the off weeks, get your mind right. Next year, you come back with a different mindset. You know a little bit more.
But that's not the mindset of these kids. So
no, it's not.
So all the guys you've had on these shows, and I'm sure tonight, and we were supposed to have Leon on last night on the Cane Sport live show, but he was doing his cigars. But Leon had told me a month or so ago, and I put it on Cane Sport today, after spring practice, Mario told him right to his face, these guys don't know how to work. Now, that's the word you guys use. Every time I'm listening to you guys, you're always saying the same thing, work. We have to work. He had to teach them how to work. So in April of 2022, he's coaching to teach these kids how to work. No wonder there's a problem. No wonder there's a problem with this team.
But all that said, Bruce, they could have won every game they've played this year. It is the weirdest damn thing. I mean, they have all these problems, but they could be 4-1, 5-0 right now. This could have been like 2017.
Yeah, but if we were, then you're not going to address all these faults. I mean, you're not going to address them. So this is a good opportunity to address these faults when really, truly, we weren't expecting to win a national championship this year. Maybe we were expecting to at least compete for a chance to go to the ACC championship.
Yeah.
That's my expectations for this year. Maybe have a chance to compete. Maybe. 100%. And I said maybe. But now, so now you still might, I don't know, but next year, I expect more. Now I expect more because you've gone through the growing pains. You've been hard on your coaches. It's trickled down to the players. You've been hard on the players. Everybody knows what they expect. And you go on and you get better. You get better.
Yeah, and also, Lamar, they have to weed out who they don't want, and they're finding it out. Like any new coach, no matter where you are, your XFL experience, you'll see guys who, this guy can't play for me. And that's what they're doing. So they're losing the games instead of winning the games, which is not fun for the fans.
Right.
But they're finding out who they really want, who they can't have anymore, and go from there. Don't you agree?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, and even with coordinators, man, I'm reading here some of the comments. I just think that, all these things, everybody has to grow. Okay. Gaddis comes in with his new offense. It's not the same offense that one kid is used to. Everybody has to kind of mesh. And sometimes it works out, but sometimes it still takes time. It takes time to see if the quarterback's the right person for the job or the coordinator's the right person for the job. You have to get the guys that you want in there and that you trust, and they trust you.
He sure looked good the other day, 496 yards.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
he looked good. And
All right,
He'll be young. Where the hell did he come from? He looked good. Whether he can do it every game.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as the show goes on too. That was a great appearance for sure.
Yeah.
All right, the great Santana Moss is in the green room.
Whoa.
But he's in the green room without his camera on. So
Okay,
I'm not sure.
fine.
Oh, there he is. Now
That's
his
fine.
camera's on.
That's fine.
What's up, fellas?
That's
Hey,
fine.
what's up, Santana? Welcome to the
man right
Lamar
there.
Thomas Show. Great to see you again. And
Thanks for having me, man. What's good?
Big time
Yeah.
players make big time plays and big time. There he is.
There it is.
well,
There
you
it
should have
is.
patented that phrase.
Lamar, what it do?
Man, hey man, that's one of the greatest quotes ever in college football, right there, dog. I should have been tuning into the show. You should have had that on your shirt, money signs in the back. I mean, that was.
Hey.
I mean, it's just you just said what was on your mind.
I was going through it, man. You know, honestly, I'm not sure if I shared the story with a lot of folks down in Miami, but I share all the time up here in DC. That year I was up for the Heisman. You know, Coach Davis knew I didn't want to be up for the Heisman. I've always been a guy. I'm a realist. I'm like, look, Coach, you know, I understand I can do, you know, nice things with the ball, but I'm not getting the ball. I'm not getting the volume of plays like that for me to be a Heisman candidate. And he said, look, son, it's going to be good for the team. It's going to be good for us publicity-wise. And off the bat, I hurt my ankle first week. So every week from the first game of the season, I was doing diddly. You know what I mean? And I'm hearing the media in South Florida talking about, you know, I'm laying an egg my senior year. I haven't done nothing, but I'm like, I'm on one leg. I got a high ankle sprain. I want to sit out. Coach Davis told me, no, I need to be out there. So long story short, leading into that game, I started feeling like myself. And it was emotional. And I hadn't beat Florida State yet. I've been playing well against them. Florida State was a team that I was kind of on the borderline of wanting to go to when I was young. So, you know, to finally get a chance to beat them and to put the naysayers to rest about how I was feeling, I just let it come out. And it was just it just came out from my emotions. You know, I didn't plan it. It was the first thing came to mind and I said it.
Man, what a great quote. You know, I ask guys all the time when they come on this show, why Miami, man? I mean, I know you're a guy from right down here, but why Miami? What was it about Miami staying home for you?
Well, I'm pretty sure everybody's story is a little different from mine. I didn't have many opportunities outside of, you know, Miami, you know, when it comes to schools that was on the caliber of any other, the top schools to be recognized, you know, at. And when I went on my visits to Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan, I had like 2 more visits left, like Utah and Pittsburgh, I believe. Pittsburgh was my biggest offer. They was in the Big East. They was my biggest offer as far as, you know, football-wise to me. When I thought about it, I'm like, man, maybe I should take this track scholarship at Miami. And, you know, when I was first presented with the track scholarship opportunity, I said no, because I didn't see myself running track past the high school level. And when I went on those visits and realized, man, I don't see myself playing up north in the cold, I was like, guess what? You know what? If that opportunity still presents itself, I take that because I know I can play football. And I feel like playing football in Miami, you know, that's where some of the best football is played at in the state of Florida. So I'm sure I could compete with those guys that's coming into Miami.
Now, when you talk about coming in there, it wasn't all roses in the beginning.
Yeah.
It wasn't. You went through some growing pains.
Yeah.
When you first got there, kind of like, you know, what's going on now. Tell us a little bit about how tough it was and how you guys were able to continue to work and stay together.
Well, one of the things you initially saw when we got there, the class that came in before us, they was the guys. You know, EJ them class, the 2000 class, it was EJ, it was Damian Lewis, it was Bubba Franks, Al Blades, you name it, the list goes on. Damian Lewis, I probably said his name. Those guys had set the tone as this is the class that's going to get us back to where we need to go. But they was missing a couple of guys here and there. And then when the 2001 class came in, which that I was a part of, Reggie Wayne, Ed Reed, Dan Morgan, you name it, I guess a lot of guys I probably missed, but I was a part of that class. Darryl Jones, all those guys. When we had to play as freshmen, and a guy like myself who was considered to be a walk-on, who wasn't supposed to see the field and had to come and start playing in week 4, it changed. The whole narrative changed. Like, this is the class. This is the class that's going to get Miami back to dominance. These guys have set the tone, set the bar a little higher than the guys that came in before them. And I think the only way we was able to do that is because those guys before us we saw EJ playing immediately, having success. We saw Bubba being as talented as he was. We saw Al and all those guys, Nate Webster, all those guys. And so it gave us that I guess you could say that confidence to go out there and dominate in practice and compete in practice. And before you know it, we had, I'm not sure how it is now, but I think when I was playing, my freshman class was the first time that many freshmen played in their first season, like, you know, as freshmen, as true freshmen. And so right there, setting the tone saying we're going to be the class wasn't good enough. You know, we had to really, we like, okay, we hear all that, but we want to be the class that's winning that national championship by our senior years. And, you know, truth be told, like you say, it wasn't peaches and cream. We were 5 and 6 that year.
Mm-hmm.
But we immediately know, we said, okay, since we already know that we the class to turn around, let's raise the bar for ourselves so we can have something to, you know, to push for. So the next year we went to the season saying we're not cutting our hair. We're going to grow our hair out until we see a bowl game and win a bowl game. Mm-hmm. And it happened the next year. We did that. That was too easy. Okay, we finna do this thing again. We're going to set it even higher. We're going to do X, Y, Z. And so that's what we was doing. We was kind of putting things out there to motivate ourselves to go and conquer it. And I think our last challenge to ourselves was to get to the national championship game my senior year, which you guys know we would have done if it weren't for the BCS poll thing. And, you know, that was something that was taken away from us that we couldn't control.
Now, let me ask you this, Santana. You know, during that time, and you guys you weren't told by CJ to do extra work. I'm pretty sure it was just part of the culture. Am I correct?
A little both. You know, one of the things that you guys had done, see, you know, I'm not sure if Reggie them saw you play when they was growing up, but I got a chance to watch you guys, you, Kevin Williams. See, I watch the guys that's making the plays, then I find the guy that I feel like that's me. So I watched a lot of Kevin Williams. I saw you do your thing. You played the Z, X receiver, you know. So I've always watched you guys do your thing. Now, before you know, Michael Irvin had his stint, but I was too young to be watching Michael Irvin. I saw clips of Michael Irvin, but I never really got a chance to see his team play the way I saw you guys play. So just knowing what you guys had set and the tone that you guys set, I will always talk about, man, Lamar Thomas and Kevin Williams, man. When these guys was out here, man, it was like watching, you know, these guys went and did work. So now you have a coach in CJ that, to me, I think was by far, I don't know if I can say, you know, who's better at the wide receiver position, coaching wide receivers than CJ, you know, on the collegiate level. I mean, he did a fabulous job with us, just always pushing us, motivating us, keeping us on our toes when it came to, you know, competition, you know, amongst our group. Just whatever he did, man, he just found a way to, you know, get the best out of us. But he used to challenge us, man, like, who gonna come in here and watch film? Who gonna come in here and be better, you know, than the next guy? And when you had guys like Reggie that was from New Orleans, that was kind of familiar with CJ, you know, I'm watching Reggie. He came in out the gate and he was a freshman All-American. He broke the freshman record in the Big East for, I think, most catches and yards or something like that. And I was always one of those guys that, hey, man, congratulations. And you the guy, then I'm going to get next to you. I'm going to find myself some way on this team, and I'm going to sit closest to you as possible. So whatever you do, I need to either be doing the same thing or do it better. And Reggie was kind of like the catalyst for me, man. He set the tone with what he did as a freshman. Although I got a chance to play, I was always striving for what he was doing already. And it just came, man. And every time one guy was out there, I didn't want to be left behind. The other guys didn't want to be left behind. Before you know it, it was like a wildfire. Everybody saw somebody doing something extra. So everybody was kind of like taking on what you guys had already instilled and left there for us. So I think it's a positive culture, yeah, but it's also the coaches that helped us come along, because I believe it wasn't a coach on that staff that wasn't a coach that could have played, or coached on a pro level. Like, you had so many great coaches, Don Solinger, our defensive back coach, I can't think of his name, Chuck Pagano, all those guys, man, had a chance to go on the next level and still be as dominant as they was on the collegiate level. And I think that's what made us so good, because we had those coaches that knew how to get the best out of their kids.
And then, you know, you went to the NFL and had a great career. And I always tell people, when we leave Miami, for some reason, everybody want to try you when you first get there. Am I true about that? They want to try you, and they don't realize we ain't with that trying shit.
They want to see if it's real.
Yeah.
they want to see if them boys from down south, from the bottom, they want to see if we really about what we be saying or what they saw. And
yes,
you know, unfortunately for them, you know, they find out. So it is what it is, man. Honestly, man, it's crazy that you brought that up too, because you know, out the gate, man, you know, I got there and got hurt in New York my first year before I even played a preseason game. And I remember that feeling that I had, like, damn, I made it to the pinnacle. I made it to where I always said I want to get to. And this is what's happening to me. Like, I didn't even go through this in college. College, I broke my jaw and missed one game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, I can't. And so that was another stepping stone for me to get over. You know what I mean? That was something I had to feel like, okay, this is another roadblock for me. I got to go through all this rehab and get myself back to get back in form to where I was at when I came in. So it was a lot of guys, man, especially I remember Mo Lewis to this day, man. I still hear him in my ear. Mo Lewis is one of our, you know, he's an all-time pro linebacker that played for a long time. At the time, he was a probably 10-year vet when I got there. Him and Marvin Jones, and you know Marvin Jones were from Florida State. But Mo Lewis used to always say, "So they say," because about me, like, oh, so they say he fast. I ain't seen it yet. They say he can do this. I ain't seen it yet. That was he. I would walk by him in the hallway and he'd just say that shit, and it bothered me. And I'm like, this dude trying me, man. So you know, and Marvin just knowing me, he family and stuff. He like, man, you better leave that Carol City boy alone. Them boys crazy over there in Carol City. So, and I used to just let it, you know, it would eat me up inside. Right. But at the same time, a young buck, I got to get it how I live. I got to go out there and show these guys what I'm about. So when I got a chance to, man, I was out to prove them about what the Miami boys about.
And how many times did them guys come up to you and say, "Hey, dog, bro, I wish I could have done what y'all were doing down there, man"? How many times you heard it?
Every day. I mean, you get a new guy that come in the building. When they find out where you from, they immediately come to your locker and want to hear the stories and want to just talk about what they saw, man. Like one of my guys who came in with me, Torrey Woodbury, he was the Michael Vick of HBCU. He played at Winston-Salem State. He was a quarterback. He was a part of my class with the Jets. And he was a big-time Hurricane. I'm talking about this boy with Miami down. I thought we went to school together. I'm like, where you got all this Miami stuff from? He say, man, I'm from Miami. That's what he told me. I'm like, you from Miami? He say, nah. I tell everybody that because I'm a big-time Hurricane. So me and him became real close. And he's a quarterback, so we became tight. We did everything together. We stayed together that first year. And he just talk about us like as if, bro, the dude knew everything about us. So I felt kind of odd at times because he would tell me stories that I ain't know. So I'm like, damn, but man, they love to hear the stories. But all in all, you know, to be honest with you, man, the coaches on the next level too knew that the Miami guys was a little different because every year I would get a coach come to me and say, who should we get in the draft? You know what I mean? Like they really will come to you. Like my last year, that is crazy. This is a true story. My last year in New York, 2004, forgot our running back coach name. Now remind you, 2 years prior to that, I told him to get Jonathan Vilma. He got Vilma. My last year, he asked me who in the draft is, you know, worthy of us to get. I say, get Frank Gore. He said, all right, I'm going to look at him. I'm going to see what's up with Frank. And truth be told, I leave to go to come to DC. He left and went to San Fran and got Frank in San Fran. And that's just so he would have got him in New York, but he ended up going elsewhere and got him up there. So it's crazy, man. Those coaches really want to go out there and get a Hurricane, and they waiting on that to come back. You know, we've been down for some years, but you still see our guys out there in the league making noise. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't been like the guys from the past. You know, those glory days where we had a ton of first-round picks, second-round picks, third-round picks. But still, those guys are out there that's getting a chance to go out there and make a name for themselves. They still representing the league, you know, showing that regardless of what round they come in, they're going to go out there and play good football.
Now, Tanner, you know, the fact that we have one of our own in the building, how does that make you feel when you know, I mean, obviously we're going through some growing pains right now, but when Mario was hired, how did that make you feel about the program?
I was ready to come back. I'm ready. I'm ready to go out there
See?
and be a part of the practices. And I'm seeing
Yep.
it on social media so much.
Yep.
Mario opened the door for me like, Tanner, whenever you in town, come on. And Mario was a part of us coming up because he was a GA, I believe, my freshman year. So just to know what Mario means to the history of our school and our game, to see what he did when he went elsewhere. He was at FIU for a minute. He went to Bama. He got a chance to go out there and do great things in Oregon. To see his transition and his evolution of being a coach now to be brought back, I feel like it's too premature right now to ask that much of Mario out the gate. Now I can see a difference in these guys and the persona a little bit, but I think you give him a little time, man, and he could get the core guys that he needs to go out there and compete on a high level. We should be able to see us, trending in the right direction. I think I would have liked to see it this year. And some of the things I saw in practice leading up to this season made me think, hey, he might have that kind of year. But when you actually watch the guys play, you see a lot of the old stuff that's going on that went on the years prior before Mario. So you only could just say, hey, you know what, this year one, or let's see if these guys finish strong. But regardless of what happens this year, I think I'm pleased to know that Mario is a guy that knows what it takes to get back to our dominance, and I know he's going to be the coach to bring it back.
Hey, I appreciate you saying all that, because I think what people don't realize is how emotional it was for all of us that played at Miami, to see one of our own, to get that opportunity to come back and to open the doors again, because we all felt like we were
closed out a little bit.
Yeah, closed out a little bit. And it starts with the guy up top. A lot of times, you start with Al Golden. I think he had an issue with the Miami guys. I mean, you took the job you got to know what comes along with it. Manny was fortunate to get the job. Hell, he didn't know what the hell was going on. But Mario, it's gonna take some time. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm excited about it, man. And it's good to hear you say that, man, because you mean a lot to the program. You one of the most exciting players I ever seen, and obviously that quote, man, we still need to get that on some shirts, man.
I don't know if I told you, but you a reason why that my junior year, me and Reggie was up there in Doak Campbell nodding our heads. You had that speech with us with the receiver corps, and you told us, you say, when y'all hear that Florida State chant. Now, I'm sure for the ones that know where I'm from Carroll City, that's our chant. So that was my chant already. But you were saying, you told me and Reggie, hey, that's your song. When you hear that thing come on, you need to be rocking. And I remember in Doak Campbell, my junior year, I think I had 189 catches for 180 and 2 tugs. I remember him being on the sideline like Lamar said that you better be rocking to this chant. And like you had us, hey, we ain't sleep that night before the Florida State game. What you was telling us, man, you gave us a pep talk like no other. And I remember CJ telling me and Reggie, he told the whole corps, he said, hey man, you guys play good tomorrow. I'm gonna be shaking your hand after the game, telling you I see you, and it was nice coaching you, because this is the game that get guys to go to the league.
Yeah.
And I remember after that game, CJ came to me and shook my hand like, hey, man, I just want to let you know it was nice coaching you. I said, man, get the hell out of my face, man. I'm coming. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But I always remember you having that little time to talk to the team and talk to the receiver corps. I mean, you meant a lot to, our history too, man. You did your thing. All you guys got a chance to play on the big stage when y'all was in Miami. That's the only thing I feel like I was cheated from, man. I really wish I could have brought a championship home, and I'm glad the guys was able to do it in 2001 when we was in the league. But I really believe in 2000, man, they cheated us from our chances to have a championship. So that's the only thing I feel like I left there without.
Are you enjoying? Hey, last one, man. You enjoying retirement, buddy?
Am I?
Hey, Santana wants to come back. Put him on your XFL team.
Hey,
you can make it.
Hey, look here, man. I'm 43. I work out every day, but I ain't trying to play. I ain't trying to run no routes with nobody, catch nobody's football. Hey, I got it in for 14 years in the league. You had the college years on, you had the high school, you had the little league.
Optimus. Yeah.
Man, look,
a lot of football.
I think the good man up top for giving me the strength to make it through all them years, and just the blessing of having me have a chance to see that, man, because that was my life. That's what I wanted for my life from day one. You know, as early as I can remember, 5, 6 years old, I told my folks that's what I want to do. So I was able to do that.
How fast do you think you could run the 40 today if you went out to do it?
I mean, you know,
don't say it, dog. Don't say it.
No, I really don't know. I'm gonna be real with you. I know for a fact I'm gonna run a 4.5. If that.
Dang.
I'm not even but I ride the bike a lot now, so I don't have to run as much. I done had 3 knee surgeries, man. You know, when you have those knee surgeries, you try to stay off them legs as much as you could. So.
Hey, Santana, just so you know, I've been looking at 40 times of guys get ready for this XFL draft. They would love to be able to run the 4.5.
Yeah.
I would pick you right now, goddamn.
Boy, they better get on their horse, man. They tripping.
Man, what are you timing it with, LT? A calendar?
Man, I don't know. I'm just reading the stats, bro. I'm thinking ball control right now. I'm thinking ball control, baby.
That's bad, man. We're
doing a lot of catching drills, dog, all day long, man.
You need to go get Swayze to be their scrim coach and stuff. Get them ready, man.
There it is.
I'm pretty sure Swayze will have them ready.
Hey, Santana, before you run, I want to ask you one thing. You know, I've been fortunate to cover all you guys. I covered you in high school, and the one thing that I've noticed has changed through the years is just now on this show, the maturity that you were talking about, your mindset coming out of high school to the University of Miami, and how focused you were on learning from the guys that had been there, and how driven you were. I see guys coming out of high school now with a lot of entitlement. Like they're not coming out of high school, and Carroll City's not producing Santana Mosses. Like, you know, it has changed down here. What do you think has what do you think that you guys had? Because back then it seemed like all you guys coming out of the 305 were just different level players. What do you think has changed through the years that, you know, kids maybe aren't coming into college with that type of edge that Santana Moss did?
Well, all these kids now have their chances of getting what they want. You know, we wasn't fortunate back in those days. Look, one thing, you couldn't even just transfer and go play elsewhere back in my days. Now these kids have the transfer portals. They can go to different high schools and still be, you know, qualified to go play that same year. The coaches can't coach, can't be strict. You can't get your behind whooped if you did something wrong. You can't be punished if you lose a game. You know, I remember at Carroll City, you know, punishment for us was we come from the game. If we lose, we gonna line it back up on the field. We're gonna either practice or we gonna either condition with the car lights on. So it was things like that motivated us to be better. And a lot of these kids don't get trained that way no more. Now it's football year round. You get your 7-on-7 leagues and all this stuff. Kids get to run a hell of a route, different kind of route patterns, and put them on social media and think that they're all world. And then they expect to be, you know, chosen or picked or treated that way when they go certain colleges. And all I remember you know, back when I was coming, it was a privilege to get any school to give you a letter or to say that you have an opportunity to have a scholarship. I think now these kids looking at the schools like it's a privilege for you and me here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different world, man. It's a different world. And you see that with everything. You know, the world has changed. These kids have changed. Put the work in necessarily that we did, you know, to get to where we at. You know, they have social media. They have different outlets now that can actually see them do things. And, you know, that stuff right there is awarded to them to give them the opportunities that we had to go out there and really put up numbers to have, you know?
Not only that, Santana, but these kids are making announcements when they're going out. And the majority of them say, I'm taking my talents for the next 3 or 4 years. They're halfway out the door already. They're
usually 3. They usually say 3.
They usually say 3 years. It's like, are you kidding me? What the hell?
And now they're getting paid. They're getting paid, Santana. You got high school kids getting $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 before they even step foot on campus.
I know.
Look.
And you wonder why
they used to get on Miami about guys getting paid, and they just didn't even know we ain't have no damn money. You know what I'm saying? But I wish I was a part of what they got going on now. Not because, you know, I deserve that. Look, I think the guys like Lamar, myself, all the guys before what's going on now, we paved the way for that. So it's great for us to have made a lane for these kids that now sit here and be able to take care of their families before they get to the pros. Because everybody don't make it to the pros. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I still believe that they have to have a little more pride with what they have in front of them. You know what I mean? A lot of these kids don't realize they fumble the ball or fumble what they have because they're so caught up into the world of who they are before they can go out there and really make a name for themselves. So I it's sad, man, but this is something that we're not going to see in. It's going to be that way for a while until somebody finds a way to nip the bud a little bit. But that's just the world we live in. And, fortunately, these kids now are being treated a little differently. And, it's all about them.
Well, thank you, Santana, man. We love you, bro. Thank you so much for coming on the show. One time for the Carrots and the Chiefs. And I love that. Was the Popeyes there back then? Because that
Carrots City
Popeyes,
Chiefs, baby.
Man, and that Popeyes over there.
Right behind you. We was the school behind Popeyes. That's what they just say.
Man, let me tell you, that's what's up, baby. Then I go down to the flea market a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, Santana, man.
Yep.
Much love to you.
Appreciate you, 3-6.
There's a guy on here,
baby.
Norris. He wants you to say hi to his son, Chase. So give him a shout out. The kid's name is Chase.
Hello, Chase. How you doing, Chase?
All right, Chase, what's good with you?
There you go. Now you make somebody happy.
Thank you, brother.
Take care, Santana.
Wow.
He's awesome, man.
That's the quote of all quotes.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the quote of all quotes.
You know how much money he could have
man.
made with that quote if only Dime Life was around back then to help him, or
Ruiz.
Yeah.
Well, they could still make
NIL.
they could still do it. Yeah. They could still put T-shirts with him on there. Might go.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, man.
That was awesome.
And just think, he could have started his own stocking cap company because he had a stocking cap on it at the time.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, it would have been endless money for him at that point. But we were just born too early, man. We were born too early.
Yeah. Well, he's made plenty. I think since then, I think he's good. 14 years.
14 years, man. 14 years.
The pension must be pretty cool. When it comes, what are those pension checks come every month, Lamar? Is that how it works in the NFL?
Well, I haven't hit it yet. I'm still I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna keep mine back. Hopefully I can live to get it. But I'm gonna push it back a little bit. I'm not gonna get it at 55. I said I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna wait till I'm like 60. So hopefully I can get it. That'd be great, for my kids, my wife, everything, my family, but I don't want to collect it too soon. I still got some living. I still want to work. I enjoy it. I still got some dreams out there that I want to approach. So hopefully some of those dreams come true.
But that conversation, and that's why I asked him the question I asked him. I mean, it is so true, Lamar. Like I've seen, it's kind of interesting to have been able to do this as long as I have, because you just see the different generations and the different mental makeups of kids coming into the U and that kind of things. And those guys, man, Reggie Waynes, Santana, it's different, man. It's just all changed. I mean, I don't see Frank Latson walking in like that. I don't see Jacoby George walking in like that. I don't see Romello Brinson walking in like that. I don't see anybody walking in with that type of mindset. And it's not like he had such a much greater career at Carroll City than any of these other kids have had at their high schools. I mean, Santana Moss came to the University of Miami on a track scholarship.
Right.
Okay?
I think, Garrett, one of the things that is awesome about when we came in under circumstances where we were saying, man, I just want to be able to compete. I just want to be able to meet Michael Irvin, or I just want that guy to know that one day I'm gonna be a great player, or the Santana who watched us at the Orange Bowl saying, when he gets an opportunity to meet me, he's like, oh yeah, man, Lamar Thomas, man, I watch you. It was just different. It was and for us, we didn't want to let those guys down. We were the Brian Blades, the Brett Perriman, when they came around, the Melvin Brands, all these guys, man, we looked up to because we knew the history of the program, and we wanted to make sure we carried it out, the traditions that they went through some times, like they were 6-5. It was rough, but they still respected what the work those guys had put in, and they knew how important it was for us and for them to turn it around, and they did. And that's why us, as those guys that were older than them, we've respected them because, hey, man, they did something that was needed. They developed over time, and they became that force that got us back on track to help the 2001 and all those teams after, among those times, to have some great times. I mean, you go through those growing pains, the 6-5, man, that has to be awful. That has to be awful, especially down here in South Florida. No one cares about you being on probation. They don't care about that. It's still University of Miami. You're supposed to win games. That's what they're thinking because of all the success we had. So to go through those and to stay close and to have that goal that, hey, we're gonna let our hair grow out and we're not gonna cut it till we go to a bowl game and win it. Okay, gave themselves a goal. Then they said, okay, we've already accomplished it. Let's go on to the next level and let's figure something out. So now we're pushing the envelope of greatness because we already know that where we've come from. We're not the 6-5 team no more. Everybody's grown. We matured. We had the strength and weight program with Swayze and all that other stuff. We got the coaches in place that are great coaches. We love them. They love us. They're helping us become better people, not just football players. And it goes on from that point on. So everything takes time. I mean, obviously, we're in a world of instant gratification. Everybody wants instant gratification. It starts with this damn phone. Everybody wants instant gratification. They want the pictures. When they come in for the freaking business, they don't want to see the campus. What they want to do is take pictures in the uniform. You know how much? I mean, it's
recruiting now.
That's recruiting. I mean, they want the photo shoot. This is a modeling show. They want the photo shoot with a shield on, and you can't even see the face. And they got their mamas in the pictures. Their daddies even put on the freaking uniform, fat guts hanging out. I mean,
all the coaches in there too.
And the coaches acting like fools because we have to. Halftime, they just think of Steele. He don't want to do that shit. He too old for that shit. And he got to act a fool now. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. A fan argued with me over social media this week, and I ended up blocking the guy because he didn't understand it. Bro, I'm a Miami Hurricane. I don't have an axe to grind with Mario. He's my classmate. I love the guy. I was excited about him coming here, but we're not winning, and it hurts me. I hurt. So if I didn't show people hurting just like me walking out the stadium, that's not an axe to grind. We know what it is. It's going to take time. I'm not saying
I saw you hurting the other day.
I'm
you sat right above me in the press box. I could feel the pain coming out of you.
Yeah. I mean, I was, and plus I couldn't drink because it was the press box. They told me not to drink, so I had to be in there drinking Coca-Cola. So I had nothing to mask my pain.
Let's take a second here and let's hear from our friends at Caneswear.
Welcome to Caneswear. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has all the latest merchandise for the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Inter Miami Soccer, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive just south of I-595 or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hey, it's almost Halloween.
Oh,
look at this, man.
Look at that.
This is something nice right here. Look at this. Look at this. It's that jack-o'-lantern.
That would look great in the front yard.
This go great in front of your house now. And then let's say it's almost Christmas. You get your gnome. There it is. Good little gift right there. Yeah, it'll go good on your shelf with your trophies from high school, from Pop Warner. You put that up there with that. And then always, I like this. This ain't going in front of my house because it's too big, but check this out.
Wow.
Big old hurricane deal like that, man. I like that. That's some good stuff in here, man. Really good stuff. Come on down here. They want you to come on down here. I mean, come on, spend some money down here. They'll take care of you. Tell them I sent you.
Yeah, it's interesting, when the team's not winning, I mean, all the businesses, take a hit, and whatever. But the one thing I could say about Brett and those guys at Caneswear that I've noticed is the shelves are always full of merchandise. Like they make sure that they order all the cool stuff, like the stuff that you just put on the screen, and they always have everything that the Canes fan might want. Oh, what is that? Look at that!
But Go Canes, a little sticker I got up there. You know what I mean? I mean, they got a lot of great stuff here. And obviously, it's not just University of Miami stuff. It's all the South Florida pro teams, and they do a good job here. So come on through here now. This is some good place. Really nice. And they're going to expand too. Hold on, they're going to expand, and they're going to have a studio for me. They're going to have a studio. We right now we're negotiating studio. It's going to cost them a little bit, but we're going to get this done. We're going to have a studio. So, in the off season of the XFL, I'll come back and do the show, and I'll have my studio, the LT36 studio, and we'll be renting it out for other talk shows. So if you're interested, hit us up. We got you.
All right. Hey, it's the night of the receiver here on the show. Let me bring Bruce back in, and we got another great one in the green room. I ran into this guy, Lamar. I was getting some ice cream down the street from my house a couple months ago, and I turned to my left. I'm like, Kevin Beard, what's up, buddy? And I hadn't seen him in a couple of years since we were at Toledo or whatever, where he's been coaching. And my man still likes the ice cream, I'll tell you that. And
who doesn't?
For football as well. What's up, KB?
What's going on? How we doing?
Doing good. Welcome to the Lamar Thomas Show. Get reacquainted.
KB, one of my favorite receivers of all time. And let me tell you why, KB. Because you was just like me. You was a grinder. You wasn't the fastest dude out there. You wasn't, you didn't look the sexiest. Like, we ain't have the hardest Copeland bodies. We ain't have all that. But we grinded it out.
Yes,
we made plays when we had to. That's why I enjoyed watching you play, bro. I was like, man, that dude right there, I like him because, he like me, man. He just going to make the play. He ain't the guy, but he going to find a way to be the guy.
He was clutch. Clutch.
I appreciate it, man. I was listening to Santana tell the story, and man, you don't understand. I got goosebumps when he started to tell the story because I knew where it was going. When he said about you talked about that Florida State and the music, the theme music. Oh man, I tell my players that story just so they can understand the mindset. Like when we in that stadium, they're playing for the fans. Y'all really playing for me.
For me.
That's
my song.
My jam.
That's my jam right there. I used to walk around. I told them I walk around school with my headphones on, and I'll be listening to it in class. So when I went up there and they start playing that, I'm looking at their DBs like, oh, that's my shit right there. And they're looking at me like, what the? Dude, off the chain. So I told all those guys that because what I wanted them to understand is that see, my first year playing up there, it took me out of the game. Like I got caught up in it. So from that point on, I told myself that song and that war chant and them white hands coming down at you, because there was a bunch of white people up there. Them white hands coming down at you, it wasn't gonna get me no more. So I was gonna celebrate it. And
did it look like this?
That's what it looked like, Bruce. That's what I saw in '89 when we got our ass kicked. So when I go up there and I tell Kevin and all those guys that story, man, I was just telling them because I wanted them to feel like, hey, this is, this might be your home stadium, but you playing my shit. Yeah. So I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So Kevin, man, tell us, and just like I asked Santana, why Miami, bro? What was it about Miami? You being a guy from down here, why did you choose Miami?
I'm a family guy, and so I have a close-knit family, and my dad was always a Hurricane fan, so every time they played, I watched it with them, and it was almost like my other top schools were Ohio State and Tennessee. And my senior year, I was just so focused and driven to win. We made it all the way to the third round of the playoffs, and so that
That's Plantation, right? Plantation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. The Colonels? Was it Colonels?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I came to your game.
And so I was so driven to win because at Plantation, we had been so close for so many times. We get to the third round, and a team from Dade County would always end our season. And so my senior year, I was so dialed in, and I didn't want to go on any visits. I didn't want to do anything until after the season was over with. And so by the time I got to Ohio State and I got to University of Tennessee, it was all cold, snowing, freezing, inches of snow on the ground. And so it was just different for me. And so when I got to Miami, it was already I'm at home, but it was a really good home feeling. And so when I stepped on campus and got to meet the guys and got to see the atmosphere that they were trying to build, it was a no-brainer. So really for me, it was family atmosphere.
And then to come in and be able to put it down with all the great players around you. Talk about what it was like every day in practice to push each other, because I think that's one of the things we talk about it, but people don't really understand how much of a grind it really was and how much it was just part of the culture.
Yes. And because of my experience from that grind and that culture, I kind of have grown to kind of explain to guys in the recruiting process for me now that the problem is they don't understand the process that goes into being a great college football player. And the one thing that I try to get them to understand that this college experience, this recruiting process, is a kitchen and a restaurant experience. And when I say a kitchen and a restaurant experience, when you come and visit whatever school you're looking to go to, they're going to show you the restaurant. They're going to show you the fine cloth with the white cloth tables, the candlelit dinners. They're going to show you the great service. They're going to show you everything they have to offer. And then they're going to hide the kitchen from you. Because if you see the kitchen, you're going to see a lot of dirt. You're going to see a lot of trash. You're going to see hairnets. You're going to see aprons. You're going to see stuff all over the counters. And you're going to make you think, I don't want to eat here anymore. So they don't show you the kitchen. But what you have to understand is that when you sign up to go to whatever school you're going to, you're signing up to work in the kitchen. But they're going with a restaurant mentality. And so when they get to the school and it's time to work in the kitchen and they give you that hairnet and they give you that apron, you're like, hold on. You're supposed to be bringing me a Gatorade. You're supposed to be opening the door for me. You're supposed to be giving me the number I asked for. But they didn't know that they were going to get a transfer that wanted the same number you wanted. And now that number's not available anymore. And now what are you going to do? And you're so caught up on the restaurant experience that you get so thrown off because now you're working in the kitchen.
Oh man, there's so much truth to that. That is the greatest way I've heard that explained in a long time, man.
But that's because you've let's say you started off your coaching career with university school, right? Is that where you started off?
Yes, sir.
I mean, and man, okay, first of all, I got to say this. What was it like? Because I always wanted to know, man, what was it like to coach at the University of Miami? Could you tell me what that was like, bro?
Man, you know what? You know the awesome part about what you're saying right now, what you're asking me, and I never thought about this till you just asked me. I spent every day on that job doing exactly what you just said you did in the beginning of this interview. You spent your whole time, every chance you got, to come back and pour into the new players what you learned and the experiences you had. Now I can give it. I can give it to the guys that's in the building now. And I spent every day doing that. And it was so amazing because the guys were receptive to it. They understood it. They heard me because I lived it. And all I was trying to do was pour into them what was poured into me. And that was the greatest part about it all.
Wow, man. I saw you when we played you guys. When I was at Louisville, I coached against you and I was saying to myself, that lucky motherfucker. He get to live the dream. God damn it. God damn it. He get to live the dream. I mean, because you think about it, bro. You're coaching at the place at that point where you walked in that building as a player. Now you're walking in as a coach. You're going to work every day to a place where you win all the time. It's familiarity. There might be a different head coach. There might be different people around you, but it's something you drive to every day saying, damn, I'm living a dream right now.
Yes, sir.
It don't matter what they say or what the coach does. I played here.
Yeah.
This is my house. Your ass is going to be fired at some point, but I'm still going to be an alumni. You can't take that from me. So it had to be a great feeling, man. I've always, we ran across each other on the road, and you beat me out on a recruit. I said, that motherfucker. I tell you who it was.
Lamar, Kevin was saying, look at that jealous bastard on the other side of the field.
Yeah.
You talking about Lamar Richards?
Yeah, he beat down that goddamn recruit, boy. Boy, I was sick. And it was, I'm recruiting against my little brother, but at the same time, I'm like, I had everything. I had stars aligned. I had my niece was his girlfriend. I had all these things aligned, but I knew when I couldn't get in that house until after freaking 10 o'clock, he was going to Miami. I said, them boys in there done put their feet up. They eat ice cream and cake. And I'm sitting out here in the goddamn car waiting. And finally they leave, and I wanted to shoot them a bird. But I said, I'm gonna stay classy. I'm gonna stay classy. Just in case the kid looking. What's up, bro? You good? You good?
And
like,
you know
good.
what that experience was like, and it goes back to we talking about our experience at Miami. Like when you are around a bunch of great people, it takes you to another level. And so for me, knowing that you had all this set up, now think about this, and this is at a time where Al Golden had been let go. We didn't know whether the next coach was going to retain me or not. But guess what? I just know I'm going against LT, and I gotta seal this deal. So I see him out here, and I know he waiting. Hey, I'm gonna set up shop.
Yeah, he set up shop, man. And they had me out there waiting in the car. My other coach, Kobe Smith, he was with me. He's actually assistant running back coach of the Dolphins. He was like, Coach, man, it's time to go. No, fuck that. We staying. We going in that house. Coach, man, we've been sitting here for 3 hours, man. I don't give a damn. We got to go in this house. Man, they finally came out, man. I said, let me stay classy. I did my little bro. Gave him a dip. I said, yeah, y'all good? He said, yeah, we good. I'm like, all right, bro, I'll holler at y'all. So I'm like, I go into Mar's house. I'm like, yo, man, what's the deal, dog? I mean, how we want you.
Right
yeah, he's like, man, I'm trying to stretch it out. I'm looking at the mom. She looked tired. The little brother looked tired. Everybody looked tired.
You trying to take your shoes off and set up shop. They like,
hey, coach, you can't take your shoes off,
coach.
Don't take no Ferragamos off. Hey, I got class. I got to, we got to get up early. I'm like, God damn, I think I got in the car. I said, damn, he going to Miami. And I couldn't talk bad about him. The only thing I could say, and it was the truth. You don't know who's gonna be coaching.
Yeah.
That was only it wasn't a slap in your face, but that's in recruiting. You have to be able to tell the reality of it. You don't know who's gonna be coaching, homeboy. I love Kevin, but we don't know if Kevin gonna be there. You come to me, I'm gonna be there. Now, here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part of it. And we saw this a lot, and you've seen it. We make these kind of promises to the kid. We're gonna be there, and shit, something happened. We gone. We gone. Like I'm going down the street. I get Lamar to not go to Miami, to come to Louisville, and then I tell him the next year, hey, bro, that was a great bowl game, but I'm out. And he like, damn, coach. I say, bro, you gonna be straight. You'll understand later on in life. Sometimes things happen in life, but you use those as a recruiter. You got to do your research. You got to know what's going on. You got to know if the dude ain't a good guy, you bring that shit up. Hey, listen, man. I don't mean to bring this up. You cross your legs. I don't mean to bring this up, but hey, I heard that coach snort cocaine, man. I don't know about that shit. You want your child to be around somebody like that? Is that what you want? I mean, now I had to deal with the whole Bobby Petrino thing. Coach, what about the motorcycle? Hey, man, listen. That was a long time ago. He done learned from that. You know what I'm saying? He's a different person. And you know, he ain't riding no motorcycle. He don't even own no motorcycle no more. You know, you gotta, I had so many people in South Florida, you coming down and recruit. They're like, what's up with the motorcycle thing? Hey, listen.
They gonna always ask.
He don't ride motorcycles no more. He don't even, he's a changed man. Hey, would you rather somebody coach your kid up that's made these mistakes?
That's right.
And is grown from these mistakes? You flip it.
That's it.
You flip it.
That's it.
You know, so that recruiting thing, boy, it's a hard deal, but boy, it's a grind. But we love it. We love it. I mean, how many? Now you're recruiting up there, and where's your focus in recruiting at Toledo? Where's your focus?
Oh, Florida, South Florida.
Florida,
more than anything. Okay. Like for me, they have a heavy influence on Miami, Dade County, Broward County, West Palm Beach, and tapping into Naples and the Muck and Orlando and Treasure Coast, Tampa, heavy Tampa, and just trying to continue with the relationships. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of guys up in Toledo that have had success doing it the right way. And I know one guy for everybody knows Deontay Johnson. You know what I mean? He had 2 offers coming out of high school, South Florida and Toledo. And he came to Toledo, and it's really amazing because out of high school, he was a 3-star guy, 2-star guy. And some of his friends were 5-star guys that went to Clemson, and they were like top receivers in the country. And then to come to find out, he gets drafted from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's the man, and they're fighting for roster spots now. And it's like, it's crazy for him mentally to look at this like, wow, this is different. But it just shows you when guys go to that next level and they have the right mindset and the right approach, you know, the things that they are looking for to happen, it'll happen for them if they do the right thing.
So as a coach for you, Kevin, when you're coaching the receivers, and let's just talk about assignments and adjustments. I mean, you've been doing it a long time. These guys get to the line of scrimmage. What are you teaching them as they break that huddle? Well, it won't even huddle no damn more. As they get the signal, first of all, you got to learn the damn signals.
Yeah.
What are you telling them? What's on their mind as they get the signal? Give us what you're teaching them.
Well, I think the main thing is you're going to just read your triangle, the corner to the skiff player to the safety near you. And once you
hold on, Kevin, hold on. I just said a little bit ago, I said man on, first man inside, and the safety. It's the same thing. We're teaching the same thing because we got to know that triangle. That's the first thing we're looking at as a receiver to teach these guys, first of all, how to read coverages. And then once you read coverages, you know your assignments and adjustments. But go ahead, sorry to interrupt.
And what I kind of do is I try to I get on their level. So they love playing Madden. And so Madden is so skilled now that you can pick a play and continue to scroll through plays, and they'll think the last play that was on the screen is one of the 3 that you picked. And you picked the play 6 plays up. And so I try to give them the mindset that if we're playing Madden and you know the defense that I'm choosing to pick, you're going to pick the best offensive play to dominate that defense of call. So if I can watch the film throughout the week and understand when the skiff player is the apex defender is where he is, the safety is where he is, and then the corner is where he is, I can diagnose everything else. It makes the game that much easier. And I think the smart ones, the ones that are in the NFL, and I think what we do a good job of trying to get those guys prepared for the next level. We're going to call plays based off of the coverage. So it's not just one route that comes in with the play. It's an option. If the corner gives you this, you do this. If the corner gives you that, you do that. So now we're putting ourselves in situations where we always have a chance to get open. So, you know, that's the first thought when they're at the line of scrimmage that I'm trying to get them to buy into, because in high school they just played off of talent. Yeah.
So Kevin, how do you handle a kid that, let's say he's running down the field and the ball is thrown and he doesn't go up and get the football. I mean, what do you say to a young man as he comes back to the sideline? I mean, everybody's style is different. I'm gonna tell you, you tell me what you say, and I'm gonna tell you what I say. So go ahead.
So I think what I try to do before they get to that point, I try to put them in those situations before they can actually get to that situation through practice. So we have a big yellow pad, and it's a 2-padded pad where it's big, so you can jump up and fall and land on the cushion. So I try to do that once or twice a week, just put those guys in adjusting to the ball situations so that they can feel comfortable doing that. And then when they go up to catch it, they don't just catch it and hold on to it. They learn to catch it and snatch it and turn it away. And so when those situations come up in the game now, and it doesn't work out the way we want it to, now I have something to revert back to. And now they're like, it makes them understand why we went through that drill even more now. So moving forward, I really believe that failing is a part of the process. And nobody wants to fail, but anybody that's ever been successful, they had to fail in order to get to the success part. And so I try to eliminate the fear of failure. And once I can eliminate the fear of failure, now they're excited to just go out there and make plays now because they're ready for that successful moment to build on.
My thing is on those deep balls, I do the same thing as far as put them through drills, just like that. I do drills. I don't do drills because I want to show the coach I'm doing some work down here. I do drills that are going to make us successful, okay, that are specific to the game.
Yes, sir.
And we have issues, separation drills, hand-on-hand combat drills, going up, snatching the ball, contested ball drills, turn away from the defender. These are all things that in practice, if it happens, the kid said, drill work, coach, drill work. That's the drill we do. Drill work, you know? And so you put them in, like you say, you put them in these situations because you're going to, like, I refuse. I'm the guy in high school to say, coach, I ain't doing them freaking monkey rolls. I ain't doing that. Why am I play receiver? What I'm doing monkey rolls for? You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. So I do these drills. I tell my guys, I'm doing drills that are going to help us in the game and make us better. Now, you go up, you don't do what you taught. You come to the sideline. I have my sheet over my face like this right here.
We know what's going on now.
Yeah, hey, dog. What the fuck was that? Okay, I see how you doing it. You don't give a damn about my family, do you? Get your ass over there with the rest of them. All right, baby, go get them now. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And then I do like this. I say, come here. Hey, man, tell your auntie to stop texting me, too. I'm married. Because I want them to understand that it's not personal.
Yeah.
Made a mistake. I have to address it. And I put my arm around them in a way. I might get on them, but I want them to understand that, hey, bro, it's in the heat of the moment. I'm still your coach. You made a mistake. We're going to make mistakes in life. That's what I tell you. I made a goddamn bunch of them, but I'm still here. You're going to make mistakes. Yeah. So what we do is we try to say, okay, you make mistakes, but let's have a positive attitude when you take your behind back out there. Okay.
And you know what? Curtis Johnson, man.
Yes, sir.
CJ.
Yes,
man.
Sir.
When I was at Miami, literally, I hated the dude. I hated him because he always pinpointed what I did wrong. And mentally, that's what you're supposed to do as a coach. But as a kid, growing up, being the best player on every team I was on since I was 4 years old, I didn't know how to handle that. And the one thing that I really respect that dude after leaving, in the game, there was really no yelling and fussing out and going off and going crazy. It was just calm, constant communication of, hey, move on. Let's go. Because the next play, we're going to need you to make the next play. Yep. And it was just like, man, after walking away from it, like, wow, that dude really was a calm, no matter how it went now. During the weekday, it was a whole nother animal. Yeah. But on game day, it was cool, calm, and collect. I need you to be at your best mentally so we can be at our best physically.
Correct.
Yep.
Hey KB, what's going on over there at Toledo, man? I mean, Jason Candle for a long time was, this close to getting the nod to be the OC down here, as I'm sure you know. And I guess it didn't work out. He's back at Toledo, so you're still at Toledo, and you guys have been putting up some points this year, man. I was looking 52 against Northern Illinois. You put 55 on UMass. 37 on whatever LIU is. Is that Long Island University?
Yes.
I mean, probably should have put more than 37 on them. But you guys are scoring some points over there, and I see you guys are in first place in your conference.
Yeah, I think it's a constant approach on a daily basis to just show up and have a championship day. That's really what it's boiling down to. We have a really good, strong-minded quarterback in DeQuan Finn. Think we have a very good Mike Hallett is our O-line coach. He's doing a great job with our offensive line. We've had 3 big-time starters get hurt during camp, and to be out there playing with 3 guys who probably would not have played a whole lot and haven't had any experience, for us to be doing the things we're doing right now, he's done a great job with the offensive line. Robert Wiener is doing a great job with DeQuan Finn, our quarterback.
From Tampa Plant?
From Tampa Plant, yes, sir.
Wow.
Yep, he's going on his third. He's in his 3rd year here, and he's doing a great job with him. Coach Cole is our running back coach. He's a former Rocket. He's doing an amazing job. We have a running back by committee, and Coach Mark Staten with our tight ends. He just does a great job. He brought a lot of calmness to our room in that perspective, and those guys are coming along every day. And then with the receivers, we're just trying to take every day as a championship rep. Every rep has to be a game rep. So when you get to the game, it's showtime now. And I tell those guys all the time at Miami, before every game, Jerome McDougal used to get it going. And he used to walk through the locker room, and it was like, showtime. And it was always that mindset. It's showtime. It's showtime. It's time to go. Everybody's here to watch you go put on the show. And so every day we're just trying to do that in practice. So when we get to the game, we could do our thing. And like I say, Coach Candle, he's in the 7th year here, and we're just excited about what's going on. The leadership on the team is really strong, and we're just trying to continue to build on it. Just find ways to get the next W.
Now he's got a reputation. He's got a reputation of being one of the brighter offensive coaches in college football. Now, what makes a guru an offensive guru? Because there's been a lot. I don't know how much you follow in Miami. You're pretty busy coaching your team, but there's been a lot going on here on the offensive side of the ball this year, and a lot of ups and downs, and sometimes struggles, and in different areas of the game. What makes an offensive guru in today's football?
I think the first thing that I would say, what helps him, he went to Mount Union, and for those of us that have been down south our whole life, Mount Union is a Division III school in Ohio, and they've won championships after championships. And the head coach is Coach Karras. That was the head coach at the time. And he's won doing any and everything he had to do in order to win. So he's had to adjust to a quarterback that can throw, a quarterback that can run, a quarterback that can throw and run, a quarterback that can't do either. And he's had to find a way to make it work. And I think being around, coming up under that leadership has helped him to adjust to his talent. And I think that's what we've done over the years. And I think this year is starting to show. And now it's just a matter of just trying to get those guys to go out there and believe in that every day.
How much of your Miami history do you put out there, KB, when you're recruiting these Florida kids? Are they talking to you about, hey, when you were at Miami, are you bringing up those stories to these kids?
Absolutely. You have to use those stories, because as a recruiter, the number one thing you have to do, you have to relate.
Right.
And once you can relate to them, once you can get on their level, now everything else is just continuous building. And so I explained to them that I went to the University of Miami. I'm just the older version of them. I have the same mindset that they had. They have the same mindset that I had, and they want out of this game of football the same things that I wanted out of it. Mm-hmm. And so now it's the thought process of how can I help you accomplish what you say you want? And once you can give them that insight, and now that I've been to the University of Miami, and so now it makes them want to believe what I'm saying, because obviously something had to work because of the success we've had there in my time. So that's what helps.
Yeah, that's a darn good recruiting tool.
Absolutely.
Plus the players you played with, you just throw out those names. It's like, wow, I want to play with this guy.
You know, it's really amazing when I can tell a kid I played with the 3rd pick in the draft and Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3. That guy. And it's like they always ask, what was it like? That's the number one question they always ask. What was it like playing with those guys? And I think Lamar can attest to this. When you were there with them, you didn't see that dude like that. You knew he was good, but he wasn't Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? That's just Sean Taylor. Yeah. That's just John Vilma. That's just Frank Gore. That's how you see those guys, because you just mutual respect. They're guys. Mm-hmm. But when they leave and they go off and do the things they do, it just allows you to sit back and really cherish the moments there and the time that you had with those guys. And now it's time to kind of give back.
That's well put, man. Well put. Hey, K-Bid, man, I got to tell you this, man. I'm going to let you go on this one right here, bro. Man, you've had many conversations when we thought we was the guy. we call each other, hey, bro, congratulations. What you mean, congratulations, dog? Congratulations, bro.
What you heard that I ain't here?
Bro, they ain't talking to me. What? I thought you was the dude.
I thought you was the dude.
Man, I was calling to tell you congratulations. But you know what? The one thing I can say about both of us, we love our school, man.
Man.
And we gonna do whatever we can. But you know, at the same time, you got to still do your job wherever you at.
Right. That's right.
You've done it well, and you continue to do it well. And you know what? If ever one day one of us is able to get back, we're gonna welcome the other one regardless.
You already know.
So, man, I've always respected you, and I think you're a hell of a young coach. And I want to see you continue to do well. And hell, you'll be that guy one day, and I'll be there to speak to your guys. I promise you that.
You know what? Like, before I go, when I was there, I'm walking down the hall one day, and Don Bailey called me into the offensive room. He closed the door. I'm like, what's going on? I'm doing. He said, listen. He said, I've been around this program for a long time, and I've seen it. He said, you have it. You got it. I can't tell you what it is. I know what it looks like, but I can't tell you what it is. But you got it. And what you need to do in this process is you need to not be the former player. Mm-hmm. You need to be a coach. And you need to walk around like that. And you need to present yourself like that, because you have what it takes to be a head coach at the University of Miami. And it's just like, I'm just walking through the building. And in my mind, I'm like, where did he get this from? What did he see me do that said that? But it's like, it always stuck with me. And everybody always asks me, hey, what's your dream job? What's your dream job? I always say, listen, I would love to be the head coach at the University of Miami one day. But the thing is, I am not moving and shaking like, I want to be the head coach at Miami. I want to be the head coach at Miami. Yeah. No, I'm just learning what I need to learn, where I'm at. Wherever my feet is, that's where I'm at. And I just want to learn all I can learn, because if that opportunity ever presents itself, like you and I both know, and everybody knows, it would just be an honor and a privilege. And I think, I heard you talking to Santana about, how does he feel about Cristobal being one of us, being in that position. Man, want nothing but the best for him. It's crazy how everything has to go the way it goes. But the truth of the matter is, Miami went 5-6 in '98. They lost to Syracuse 66-13. Like, Miami went they lost 3 games, 95, 96, 97. You know what I mean? You have to go through something to get to the greatest college football team ever. And everybody just remembers the greatest college football team ever. It's a process to get to that. And we just got to trust the process. And I think, like I said, Coach Cristobal, he's the guy to do it, and just got to be patient with him and wish him nothing but the best.
Well, good luck to you and your team, the Rockets, and y'all go ahead and put it on somebody. Who y'all got this weekend?
Kent State.
Kent State. We're going to put it on Kent State. Hell, put it on. Love
Yes,
you, brother.
man.
Love you, little bro, man. Thank you for coming on tonight.
And KB, next time you come to my neighborhood, man, ice cream's on me, okay?
Hey, I'm going to take you up, Jeremiah's.
I know, man. That was
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
talking to Jeremiah's.
Always a pleasure.
Take care, guys.
Take care, KB. Great seeing you, man.
Wow.
That's a true story. Wait, let me get this the screen fixed here.
Yeah, I had some technical difficulties. My computer went out on me, so I'm on my phone now. How about that?
That's clear.
That was a true story I told before. I went up the street from my house. My wife says, "Well, you can go up to Jeremiah's and get me some ice." And they make these things like Italian ices mixed with ice cream. They're awesome. So she sends me up the street to go get some ice cream, and there's KB, like taking a little break from a recruiting trip, getting him some ice cream, and he's such a good dude.
And I guarantee he's been doing that forever. Because what happens is when you've been doing it so long, you have your routine. Like you know exactly where you're going and where you're setting up your stuff. You set your visits up around, okay, if I go to these schools, this pack of school, I'm gonna go to this restaurant.
I can go get some ice cream at 1 o'clock.
I'm gonna set it up where, or if I go to this school, if I go to Carol City, I'm definitely going to Popeyes. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I ain't holding back, baby. I ain't holding back. So, oh man, what a great interview, man. What 2 classy guys that were able to play at the University of Miami and were very successful doing what they did. 2 guys that kind of, KB was not the fastest guy. Santana came in on the track scholarship. They beat the odds. And they played well, and they played around some great players that only made them better.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
But Beard took advantage of Santana's speed because he would take the safety down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
You'd see Beard like wide open.
I did too. Kevin Williams and Horace Copeland. Hell,
right. For you.
I mean, the same thing. Yeah.
I was the same guy. That's what I'm telling you. I was the same guy. Hell, I said, all right, these 2 fuckers gonna push them all the way downfield. All I gotta do is find the void, know the defense, find out where the hole is, and I know Gino because he gonna be under pressure because our O-line sucks, and he gonna have to throw it to me because he ain't got time. So bam, I'm open.
All right, let's do this. Let's take care of some business here real quick. Then I want to get to the YouTube comments because these guys have been posting all night long, and then we'll do our word association. But first, let's hear from Caneswear.
Welcome to Caneswear. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has all latest merchandise for the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Inter Miami Soccer, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of I-595, or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Yeah.
Like that.
Hey, LT, what else you got for you? You got anything more you want to say about Caneswear there, or the law office of Christine Rosendahl, or?
I mean, obviously, I can do my live read. I'm getting better at this thing. So let's get it on out the way.
Go for it, man.
Hurricanes football is back. Are you geared up yet? Have you been to Caneswear in Davie recently? They have the latest gear for the Miami Hurricanes and the Miami Dolphins, too. Caneswear is more than a store. It's an experience. They have the largest selection of Miami Hurricanes items in town. Items from Adidas, Dime Life, Flow Grown, and other brands, names, including team sideline apparel, and hundreds of different t-shirts, jerseys, polos, hoodies, and hats and all. Sizes for men, women, kids, babies, and even pets. Caneswear is your tailgating headquarters. Tents, chairs, tables, flags, decals, magnets, license plates, sunglasses, and tattoos. They definitely will get you ready for game days. So if you want Hurricanes gear or any South Florida Pro Team merchandise, they have you covered. They've got you covered all season long. So get on over to Caneswear, located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And of course, they're always open at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot where Miami fans shop.
All right. Man, what the hell's happened to my picture here?
I don't know, you look a little foggy, baby.
Yeah, man, I don't know what happened.
Look, see the wallet.
There you
I
go.
wasn't kidding.
Got the wallet.
They have the Canes wallet there too.
This is bizarre, but anyway, all right. So I'll just be foggy for a few minutes here until this thing hopefully corrects itself. But let's go to the. You want to talk about Christine Rosendahl real quick?
Well, of course. I mean, Christine, we talked about this each and every time. You know, here's the deal with the law offices of Christine Rosendahl. You know, we don't know what's going to happen when you leave the house. The holidays are coming up. Things happen. Hell, you're leaving the University of Miami game. Somebody cuts you off. You get in trouble. So I always keep this in my wallet. Christine Rosendahl. It's like having a condom. You got to keep it in there. You know what I'm saying? It's Christine Rosendahl, Esquire. The email address is down there on the bottom of the screen. Her phone number. What's the phone number here? I can't see. You know, I'm getting old. What's it? 561-512-6199. She's fair. She does a great job. She's gotten a lot of people out of some big time trouble. So I'm not saying you are getting in trouble. Don't want you to get in trouble, but you might as well be prepared. So call her up. She's good people.
And Bruce, want to take a few seconds here and tell us a little bit about what you got going on?
Yeah, well, and I've been saying it for this whole year on the show, and I got 7 or 8 calls this week from guys who can't see their kids, guys whose kids were taken out of the state and they can't find them, and they have no way of getting them unless they file a paternity case. So, you know, if you have out of wedlock children and you're having a problem seeing them, you're paying child support and you still don't see them, you need to file a paternity action either in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach County, which is where I operate, and we'll get you those kids. But unless you do that, I don't care if you're on the birth certificate or not, you don't have any legal rights in the state of Florida. So if you want to see your kids, call me, 954-258-2525. That's 954-258-2525. Or just hit me up on CaneSport because I'll respond to you. And I'll help you guys out.
Don't hit him up on CaneSport.
Yeah, you can say, Gary, give me Bruce's phone number. I don't care. I just gave it out.
Don't hit him up on CaneSport. Hit him up on
CaneSport.
Hit me up on CaneSport.
He wasn't trying to talk about the Canes on CaneSport. All right. Hit me up on CaneSport.
Hit him up on CaneSport.
All right. Listen.
Call Lamar. He knows my number.
So,
oh yeah, I know his number.
Let's go to the YouTube comments here and talk about some of this stuff. Mike says normally teams that suck leave points on the board and give up easy TDs, and that's what makes teams bad. You guys agree with that?
Well, we're living proof.
There's a reason why you suck. I mean, it's just you got to get past this. You know, you gotta take the growing. You know, the good with the bad, obviously, or the bad with the good. Obviously, I wasn't expecting Middle Tennessee State. Okay, I was not expecting that. And especially how they're getting their heads beat in. They played over their head. They had a great game plan. They did everything right that night because they have shown that they're hot garbage. But these other teams, the UNC, I mean, come on, man. They've owned us. They beat us. They got the momentum. Old Mac Brown, he's still kicking. He's about 87 years old. He definitely collecting his retirement as he's in the drop program over there at UNC. And then Texas A&M. I mean, that was a game we thought that, hey, we want to measure ourselves and all that other stuff. So those were 2 games that, hey, coming into this, we didn't know. Okay, it didn't work out. We made a lot of mistakes. Now, these mistakes can be corrected. This year is going to be about corrections. I just hope that our fans hang in there and understand it. Forget about the outside noise of how we look to everybody else because they've set us up to fail. We've set ourselves up to fail too.
Yep.
America loves pumping the Hurricanes up, but they also love for us to fail, and they love broadcasting that. So what we got to do is continue to cheer for these guys through win, lose, draw, we got to still come out, support these kids. I know there's other stuff to do, but you know what? If you love this program, this organization, just think when they get it together, you can have that story of, hell, I used to come when they were getting their ass whooped. You know how many people can say that? And they're like, shit, I know where we came from. Well, now we're in the championship. I was here. Were you here? No. So still support these kids and these coaches because it's a process, guys. It is a process. And it's okay to be upset. Hell, I get upset. I got my head coach, Terrell Buckley, getting on me all the time about, damn, all you do is wear hurricane gear. I'm going to find you every time I see you in hurricane gear. I said, well, shit, you might well find me for the whole year. I'll pay you up front because I'm going to wear my hurricane gear. I'm a hurricane, bro. Win, lose, or draw. We suck. Okay, just because y'all won a couple games now, you think y'all up, but we will see you at homecoming. We picked you for homecoming. Okay, we handpicked you for homecoming, so we will see you. But just have faith.
Guys, I think with all this talk, I'm still sitting here tonight, 5th or 6th show of this season, and I still can't get over those 6 touchdowns. I still can't get over it. The losing, we've had it over the last 10, 15 years. The offensive play calling, that's the part that bothers me the most. They played hard in A&M, then they haven't played hard. There's so much missing, but it's like the mind-boggling part is 6 bombs. 6!
6 bombs for cheap touchdowns.
Bombs. I haven't seen 6 bombs against us since the 2000 season, I don't think. I mean, where is this coming from?
Crazy. I don't know. Hey, Wanzel Morris, he says Tyreek Stevenson shouldn't even be in the game if he is hurt. And he goes on and on. But what about that subject, Lamar? What about football players playing hurt, trying to be there for their team and their teammates? In the case of Tyreek, he's got a groin pull that he's been fighting. He plays, he gets treatment all week, goes back out there again and gives it his best. And like this past week, it wasn't even his fault. He's left sitting there looking like a fool. And like people are mad at him. We do a blog with him. He even got a death threat this week. Yeah. Somebody telling him he should be dead. I mean,
I hope you ban that guy.
Well, I don't know who it is. It was somebody that was doing it on Twitter. But I mean, that's like wrong. But Lamar, what about the subject of a guy playing hurt?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, back to the death threat. Homeboy, whoever said that, you shouldn't be betting your lunch money on college students. You know what I mean? If you that desperate or you that mad over a game that you talking about killing somebody and somebody can actually try to find you, the police can actually try to look up your IP address and you getting that much trouble over a freaking game, don't bet your lunch money or don't bet your rent money. Don't bet your life savings on a freaking game, bro. It ain't that serious. It's supposed to be about entertainment. So that's the only thing I can say to somebody like that. But a guy like Tyreek who's out there trying to give it everything he has, I mean, that's the way it was back in the day, man. We didn't want to sit on the sideline because we were definitely worried about the guy behind us taking our spot. And it happens, but I think for him, he has to get healthy enough to play. He has to somehow get in his mind, hey, man, I know I'm out there, but it's really hurting me too, as far as what people think about me and those pro scouts. So I might need to take a step back, get healthy, come back at the end of the year where I can play 100% and give everything I have. And you'll have a big, hopefully there's a big change in that, because all you're doing is you're trying to do the right thing for the team because you love the team, you love the program, you love being here. But it is what it is. You have to get healthy, because a healthier kid will help the team. And maybe one of those younger guys can get a little playing time and they're going to go through the growing pains, but it won't be you out there who's being on ESPN every week.
And Rooster's another one that kind of falls in the same category. I mean, he's been hurting them this year, but he's also been missing some practice time, Lamar, and maybe he's not getting as much ball protection drills and things like that. How about that aspect of it? The guy that's been banged up, that's been missing practice time.
Yeah, I mean, well, we used to have a deal where, if you didn't practice X amount of days, you didn't play. I mean, that's just the way it was, and you knew that, so you had to you tightened up. You know, if that was the case, and sometimes guys had to miss games. Unfortunately for those guys, they missed that game. The guy behind them came in, and now you start looking sideways at the coach, like, "Coach, what's up? Hey, I tell you what's up. My man came in and caught 5 passes while you was on the sideline hurt." It is what it is. So, I mean, hopefully these guys get back healthy because they're really hurting their play and the team's play if you're not 100% healthy. And, you know, you think you're helping, but you're actually, again, you're hurting because a fumble like that going in, I mean, you coming off of last year, I would have never thought that kid would have those type of mistakes.
I know.
He also gets ankle tackled a lot.
Well, you know, here's the deal. Here's the deal. I hate to bring this up, but you know, these guys are getting paid, man. These guys are getting some money. They got a lot of responsibilities other than going to class and studying football. They have to do their responsibilities to whoever's paying them, whether it's blogs and all this other stuff, the social media. There's a lot of stuff going on that it wasn't the same when I was playing. And now as a coach, it's like I'm trying to decide on if I want to sign this one kid that I know is a decent football player, but he's a social media influencer. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to sign him because I don't know if he's going to give me 100% football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I don't even want to put that out there where I got to answer to my head coach. It's like, hey man, you signed this guy. What the hell? He on the internet, he online all day. So
when he's in strength and conditioning, shouldn't he be getting better in the offseason? Forget about the NIL and the obligations. They had strength and conditioning. He doesn't seem any stronger than last year. He couldn't break tackles last year. He got tripped up on a shoelace a lot of times. It just seems like he doesn't have that.
It seems like there's a few guys that are not working hard enough. I think you're right, Bruce. No doubt about it. Yeah. All right, Bruce, we're going to let you run. Lamar's going to do some word association here to take us home.
Bruce. All right, Bruce.
We'll see you again on the post-game show on Saturday.
Hey, let's go Canes, man. We got to win this game. All right, take care, you guys. Be well.
Have a great night.
All right, Bruce.
All right, LT, let's take this thing home with some word association.
All right, let's go.
Let's start with Lane Stadium at Virginia Tech.
If I remember right, because I scored 2 touchdowns up there that one year.
Of course you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. A nice post route and diving catch from Gino. They blitzed and left me against a freshman who had hit me in the back early in the game, and I told him I was going to get it back. And then one where Gino scrambled and found me in the back of the end zone. It was a quiet place. It was a quiet place, but we shut them up real quick. But it was a different Virginia Tech. I just remember their band members having like gray. Their uniforms were like Army uniforms, like the Army, the Army toys you used to play with as a kid, like that. So, yeah, that's what I remember most. I just remember the crowd being ruckus in the beginning, but we shut them up. It's a decent stadium. It's a good place to play. Good college atmosphere. But it's nothing to brag about. But it is what it is.
Lenore Murray, one of our viewers, is remembering that it was a post route. He remembers what route you were running.
I dove for it. It was one of the greatest catches I've ever had. But what I do remember about that, the play before that was one of the greatest runs I've ever seen in college football. Kevin Williams caught an out route on the left side, cut all the way back on the right side, and dove in the end zone for a score, only to be called back by a freaking block in the back by guess who? Me. And then the next play, I dove and I scored the touchdown. I felt awkward giving him a high five, like, damn. I mean, that was it was one of the great, because he caught it out on the left side, made like 8 people miss, cut back across, and I just lifted my hands up. I didn't hit the guy, but they called because I did this. And the guy threw the flag, and I knew it. And I mean, it was one of the greatest runs I've ever seen on a catch. It was supposed to be like a 2-yard catch, but he ended up turning all the way to a 20-yard. And then I come back the next play, and I scored a touchdown. That was a very awkward moment.
That's awesome. What a great story. All right, so Virginia Tech's not the same Virginia Tech anymore. So let's talk about Frank Beamer.
Oh man, legendary coach. Great special teams. Great special teams. Known for special teams. Always had those guys ready to play. He did a great service to that program. Got that program to where it national contention and some really great players to come out of there. Legendary coach. Is Shane Beamer his son?
Is who?
Is Shane Beamer? Was it Shane? Was it Shane
I
Beamer?
believe, yeah. I
The
think
guy at South Carolina?
that's South Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, who had a great win over Kentucky last week. That was, by the way, that was classy. That was I don't know if you saw it. Stoops had talked about him in the press conference about you can change the culture. You can wear the shades and some stupid hat and do some stupid dance. And then Beamer after the game says, "Hey, we're gonna keep it classy, and we're not. Coach Stoops talked about the shades and the hat and the stupid dance, and he did all the. Oh, it was great. You gotta check that out, man.
I'll have to look for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere.
That's pretty cool.
Tyler Van Dyke, Lamar.
Tyler Van Dyke, almost 500 yards, man. That's a lot of yards. But it was an L. You got to find a way to be able to do that type of stuff and get a win, because that's what you're going to be remembered for, your wins and losses. The 500 yards, that's great, but everybody has that asterisk right by it and said, but you lost the game, man. We lost that game.
They got a little rattled on that last drive,
got a little
man.
rattled.
Skinner doesn't, his inexperience showed he didn't find a way to get out of bounds.
Get out of bounds, correct.
And then they freaked out.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. You gotta show that leadership, and that's what these pro scouts. You might have passed for 500 yards, but they're looking at the leadership at the end and how you handle those very crucial situations. And again, that one wasn't handled well, and in that huddle, or you're telling those guys at whenever that timeout was, make sure you get out of bounds, know where you are. You got young players in the game. He should have been telling them, make sure you get out of bounds. Just like he should have told Mallory on the 4th and 1 against Middle Tennessee State, you got to get in the end zone. I mean, these are things a quarterback has to remind guys, because he's the one that's thinking of all these things.
In retrospect, he probably should have spiked the ball, gone the 4th down, and at least had everybody organized.
Correct. 100.
All right. The Miami defensive backs, Lamar.
Man, got to get that communication down. Too many errors back there. And if I'm the opposing team, I'm just running a bunch of guys at you, and I'm trying to figure out if you're gonna blow coverages or not. They've shown the capacity to do that. I mean, they capacity to do it. So why not run 5 receivers out there, send people on verticals, and see if they can cover it? Somebody's gonna blow a coverage. That's what the other team is thinking from the film sessions. So they need to practice this whole week on communication, being able to communicate against in hostile environments. I'm sure, if I don't remember Virginia Tech being too loud, but it probably can get loud. So, being able to communicate. And if you got to go back to the old school signals, they still got to complete the ball. They might know what defense you're in, but you still got to complete the ball. And that's a lot better than you blowing coverages. They still got to call plays. When you blow the coverage, they ain't got to call no more plays except for extra point.
And you're right. Like, every team they play now is going to test them. Like, they're drawing all kinds of stuff up. How can we make these guys think and screw them up? And they're going to have to be.
I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of shifting.
A lot of motion. Yep.
A lot of shifting players and motion, just to see if they're testing out their communication skills in that secondary.
Yeah. All right, let's take it home with Mario Cristobal.
Man, couple losses, man. But I knowing this guy and the type of player he was, and being able to talk to him as a coach, and even as a head coach, it burns him up to not be successful right now. But I think he's on the right path. I think he's probably behind closed door had some good talks with the coaches at each position. Had some good talks with players at positions, and I think they know where he's coming from. And I'm pretty sure in the building you got Alonzo walking around, and he's limping around there. You got Ed Reed around there somewhere. These guys are saying, hey, guys, everything's a process. Alonzo was there when we weren't that good, and then we got better. Ed Reed was there when we weren't that good. We got better. When you tell these stories, I think it'll hit home, and guys might not be able to understand it that first and second year, but when they get in that third year, oh, this is what they were talking about. Okay, we've come this far, and yeah, the fans were booing us, and the fans weren't coming, and we were going to Burger King, getting the buy one get one free ticket to the University of Miami game because nobody was showing up. These things change, and it changes with winning, and it changes with guys getting better and maturing, and and getting guys in that are coming in for the right reason.
All right, LT, another great show, man. This was a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, buddy.
Wow. Santana, Moss, and KB were awesome. We covered a lot of ground. So all good. Thank you to Caneswear. Thank you to the law office of Christine Rosendahl, Esquire, PA, at hotmail.com. You can reach her. And again, if you run into any jams here in South Florida, she will hook you up. When you go to Caneswear, you can stop into Mission Barbecue there and get some French fries, like Lamar's snacking on, getting his parents all mad at him as he eats on the show. You think they're sleeping at this point? It's 10 after 10.
They're my biggest critics. They tell me
then you're just tormenting them. Then you're tormenting.
Yeah, they get on me. They get on mom right now. She about to go to bed, but she gonna call me when I'm in the car. So it's like,
what are you doing eating those French fries?
It's like after the football game, we riding home, and they're like, "Hey, man, what was that one route, man? What was up with that?" They're my biggest critics. That's why I love them so much.
And most of all, we thank all you guys for watching once again this week. For Lamar, I'm Gary. We'll see you guys again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Go Canes.